Works Friday. I'm Joanna Rotter. Today we are going to cover a topic that's very important to any sort of service or maintenance or repair organization: preventive maintenance. We all know that PM programs are extremely valuable for regular business and especially for customer retention. But they're not really all created equally. And let's be honest, most of them need a little work. So today we're going to go through the 3 do's and 3 don'ts of running a successful customer-centric preventive maintenance program. Our first do: say yes to the little jobs. So when customers sign a preventive maintenance program with you, you're signing on to be the trusted guardians of their equipment. You want to be able to provide the most trusted feedback and be their advisors. But in order to get to that level, you need to say yes to all of the jobs that they ask you to do, big and small. So if someone asks you to change their oil, while that might not be the most lucrative job for you to do, it will build that trust, and so you'll be their go-to team when they need a bigger, more expensive service job done. Likewise, to maintain your status as trusted advisors, that leads into our don't, which is don't underquote PMs. So you can think of this like going to the dentist. You go to the dentist not necessarily because something's wrong, but because you want to make sure nothing really big happens. So I go into the dentist, my dentist says I'm A-okay, I leave, and then a month later I need an emergency root canal. I'd be pretty angry at my dentist if that happened. So the same thing can happen if you skip steps when you're doing a preventive maintenance visit. If you come in and do something, do your regular visit, and then something really bad happens a month later, your customers aren't going to be very happy with you. So in order to keep your customers happy and wanting to work with you and establishing that trust, it's important that you do all of the steps necessary in every PM visit to really prevent big things from happening, ideally ever. Moving on to number 2, our second do is to hire a service sales team. A lot of service companies don't think to do this, but especially for preventive maintenance contracts, it's a great way to keep them moving, keep the program making money. They can do research, find out who you've worked with in the past that might be good candidates for a service contract down the line. The sales team is also a great follow-up team to call your existing contracts that are expiring. So you can put your sales team in charge of calling those expiring contracts and offering upsells or at least a renewal. All right, so when you're making those sales and after you've made the sales, it's important then that you don't underpromise. So this might seem counterintuitive. Some companies will actually underpromise and then overdeliver. So for example, they might say, we'll get a delivery to you in 6 weeks, but then it actually arrives in 2 weeks. So while you might think that makes you look good, you're not only underselling yourself by saying initially that it's going to take you 6 weeks when it really might only take you 2. You are also inconveniencing your customers. So think of it like if you were ordering a pizza. So you call the pizza delivery service, they tell you it's going to take an hour to get there, and then they show up in 15 minutes and you're in the shower or doing whatever else. You're not expecting them, and so it's a big inconvenience to you, and you don't want to put your customers in that position. The third do on our list is to track success and ROI rates. So basically what you'll need to do is set up a system so that you're measuring whether your service contracts are profitable. Things like equipment and technician performance are other big ones to measure. When you're tracking the success rates, you can figure out what's working and what's not, and make adjustments so that your contracts are as profitable to you as possible. So that's sort of a no-brainer and should be a great way to set up successful preventive maintenance contracts. And then likewise, you want to make sure that once you have all of that information and data, don't ignore it. This might seem obvious, but you'd be surprised how many businesses have tons of information and then just sort of look at it and don't really take action with it. So don't ignore what the data is telling you. So basically what we mean by this is don't go into autopilot. You can set up stakeholder portals and customize that data for each stakeholder in your organization, including customers. And what that allows you to do is take that information and take actionable steps for improving your service contracts down the line and really getting at the heart of what customers are looking for. All right, so there you have it, our 3 do's and don'ts of setting up a successful customer-centric preventive maintenance program. We hope you enjoyed it. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you next week for another edition of Field Force Friday.